Yan, magandang araw. On behalf of the entire Kawangis team, thank you for having me here at the Lakbay Likha Digital Creative Roadshow. And thank you also to Director Emilu Delfin of the ICT for giving us this opportunity. Thank you then sa entire team of the ICT IITP team. So to share a bit about what we know in the publishing and graphic novel industry here in the Philippines. And now I will try to share my screen para I will be able to show you some of the tips and some of the ideas behind how do you script write for a graphic novel, which also can be translated to many other aspects in the creative industry. Kasi once you have a graphic novel, it can be translated to uh, film, it can be translated to animation, it can be translated to game. Kasi yung storyboard niya, no, graphic novel is already intact and cohesive na to start with. Yan. Sharing my screen. So, medyo lilit yung view ko, pero mas importante yung highlight natin here is what I will be sharing to everyone. Okay. So, a bit of who we are. My name is Arya Chalabian, and this is my wife, Tree Chalabian. We are the founders of Wangis Laro at Cuento Corporation, also known as Kawangis. We are also the creators of yung Mai Comics, and si Faye naman yung creator behind Incognito. I'm actually a practicing industrial engineer and graduated from Mapuwa Institute of Technology, where I spent a lot of time during my college years playing D&D and developing my storytelling skills through the game. And si Faye naman has been in the publishing industry nearly 20 years, and she's been making books all of that's already distributed all over the Philippines and probably across the globe na rin as well. And she also teaches creative writing to junior high school students and even to aspiring writers na mga kabataan. She graduated mass communication from UP, University of Perpetual Health, not Diliman. Okay, so the big question is why graphic novel? So why is graphic novel an amazing medium to tell stories? The question really is why not? Diba? Why not graphic novels? But if you're interested, it's in your interest, but graphic novel blends in visual and text. It's the it's like watching a film and a TV series, but it's not dependent on technology. Doesn't go low bad, and it's very interactive. Also, costs less than making a film. Did you know that we could learn most of the concepts are visualized? So, see here are some of the examples of popular graphic novels that has already been converted to either film, animation. And so actually, yung Alice in Borderland is originally a graphic novel. Trece, one of our very popular Filipino-made graphic novel, has been turned into a Netflix animated series na rin as well. And one of the very big, famous na graphic novel is One Piece, which has already been converted to adapted to animation, adapted na rin siya into live action. So yes, graphic novel is a very powerful storytelling tool. Through this talk, I will be sharing more about the secrets, our tips behind how do you create a very compelling story that can be converted to graphic novel. So let's first dive into what is a graphic novel. Diba? Graphic novel actually is a form of literary material, literary media siya. So it has graphical elements such as panels and frames. Mamaya, I'll dive deeper into that conversation. It also has speech and thought bubbles and different kinds of elements that can convey message both via text and also through visual elements. And it's created in such a way that it has a sequential method that allows the reader and guides the reader to go through every element of the story, and it invokes a story inside the reader's mind. Kasi yun yung power ng graphic novel eh. You just give them bits and pieces of the images, bits and pieces of the dialogues, But the beauty behind it is our brain actually fills in the gap. So nagiging parang film talaga siya. And that's how our brain is perceiving graphic novel. Right? So this is our creative process behind graphic novel. So it starts with ideation, and then it goes to story mapping, character designing, storyboarding, paneling, and pitching. Pitching is just an add-on lang naman yan. If you are planning to pitch it to a publisher, but I won't dive into that. Kasi that can be there, but it's an optional part of the process. Ang pinaka-critical talaga dyan is story mapping and the storyboarding. And let's dive deep into that. Ideation. Where do you get ideas on how you write a story? Yan yung mga usually na nare-receive namin na tanong parang, like when I wrote my, a lot of question that I've encountered in the past is, saan mo nakamot yung idea ng alternate mythology, diba? But if you already have mythology stories, dami natin mga books na about like that. But what makes Mai different is that I converted those mythology stories from the usual genre of horror and uh, depressive stories na ganon. I converted it to fantasy comedy adventure. So parang it's an entire 180 degrees shift on the genre, but it contains the same elements pa rin. So, yun nga question. Paano ko nakuha yung ganong idea? It actually is very, very simple. Three things lang yan. Read, play, write. Okay? So, read books. Read all forms. Read people. So, a lot of us, we become dependent nowadays on social media. So, reels, scroll ka, tingin ka ng mga reels, ano yung mga material, ano yung mga entertaining content. But actually, those entertaining materials, entertaining content is not gonna feed you to be creative. It gives you a bit of an idea of what you can do, pero yung depth ng pwede mong gawin o yung magagawa mo with your creative content, wala doon. Kaya it's still very critical and very important that you read a book. Read not just a book. Read a book, read a graphic novel, read the newspaper, read something that has content on it. Kasi that is gonna build your mental library. And the bigger your mental library, the more creative you can be with your story writing. A lot of people encounter creative block, creative writing block na hindi ko alam kung ano may susulat ko. It's the same as pag walang laman yung chan mo at nasusuka ka, wala ka maisuka. So it's the same thing that kung walang laman yung mental library mo, wala ka talaga maisusulat. So the best thing you can do is read all kinds of material, read all kinds of. Second, and also very important, medyo dinidegrade in our generation today is play. Play games. After you, aside from reading, play games. Playing games kasi actually triggers your brain to learn how to learn. So if you play games, basically parang ano yan kino-condense niya lahat ng information that you know so that you can be able to strategize and make sense of the information you have in your brain. Kaya nga, may mga tao na ang gifted nila when they come to playing sports. Kasi aside from playing the actual sport, they watch a lot of sport-related material. They also read sport-related articles. Doon sila nakakakuha ng idea for them to be able to synthesize para ma-implement nila in their perspective. So it's the same thing then. If you like to play games, mobile games, PC games, even tabletop games, card games, yeah, those are good avenue for you to be able to process the information that you're gathering. So reading is data input, playing is data processing, and then most importantly, writing. Writing bits and pieces, keep a notebook. So, kasi ako, I would always keep a very small notebook. Wala ako dito sa table ko right now, sa bag ko. It's a very small notebook lang. I always keep it in my bag. Para pag may mga random idea ako na nag-pass through sa head ko na parang, okay na, magandang idea yun. I write it down. You don't have to write the entire story. Just write down the idea. Write down the concept. Okay? And then once you have the concept, and then keep it there. Para later on, you have something to work with. Pagka naupo ka sa table mo, you have something to open yung notebook mo para ma-review mo, oo nga, naisip ko tong idea na to. Connect ko kaya sa idea na to. Tapos i-connect ko to sa idea na to. Then that's how you can start creating your own story. So again, reading is data input, playing is data processing, writing is data output. So that's the entire life cycle of the ideation. That's how you create something new out of whatever is already available in the world right now. Okay, story mapping. Story mapping is basically answering the question, do you know where you're going to? Yan, di ba? Identifying the flow of your story. Kasi kung wala kang mapa, same thing din with ngayon, di ba? In our generation today. If you're going from point A to point B, let's say for example, you guys are currently in Antipolo and you want to visit, let's say, Siniloan, and you haven't been there. You never ka nakapunta doon before, but you know there's a Siniloan place. And gusto mo malaman paano pumunta, you open the Google Map, di ba? Nahanap mo, sa search mo Siniloan, and then hihingin mo yung direction from your location to Siniloan. Same thing din with story mapping. It's the same. Alam mo yung starting point mo, dapat alam mo din yung ending point na story. Hindi pwede yung, alam na kung saan makarating yung kwento. Kailangan clear ka sa direction ng story mo. And then, saan papunta yung story mo. Para that way, pagka binuo mo na yung kwento, cohesive yung flow ng story. Hindi yung, ito yung nangyayari kanina, ba't biglang tumalon dito? Tapos biglang bumalik. Tapos tumalon ulit dito. Tapos teka, saan na papunta yung kwento? Ayaw mo maging ganun yung takbo ng storyline. When you're writing a script, whether that's for graphic novel or you're writing a script for film, for game, for animation. So when you're writing a script, you have to know your story map. Saan papunta yung story mo? Diba? You may say you're going on an adventure, bahala na. Pero in reality, meron pa rin clear na endpoint siya. Okay. So here is the tool that I favoritely use. It's the standard 3-act storytelling format. Okay. This is a classic layout or format from the time of Aristotle pa. Even Freytag used this format. So from here, ina-identify ko yung Act 1, which is the setup. So mamaya, I'll talk more into details about what that is. So you have, kasi tinawag na 3-act play or 3-act storytelling. You have the setup, and then you have the confrontation, and then you have the resolution phase. So yun yung tatlong stages ng story mo. As you grow along the story, dapat define ka ano yung nasa loob ng setup, ano yung nasa loob ng confrontation, ano yung nasa loob ng resolution. And that's how you flow the story. You can take a picture. Actually, this is very much available in the internet. Just Google, 3-act story format, template, some stuff like that. Makukuha mo yan, and you have something to follow and something to jot down ano yung sequence of event ng iyong story. Makikita mo rin dito, may identification, sino yung bida, protagonist, sino yung antagonist, anong setting ng story mo, anong time, anong place. Is there an internal conflict? Is there an external conflict? So identifying all these things. Kasi these are critical and important as you write your story for any storyline, actually. Okay. So let's dive into story mapping. Story mapping starts with Act 1. So sa Act 1, it's the setup. So ano ba makikita mo sa loob ng setup? First, definitely is the balance. The starting point of your story, there should always be a balance in the story. Ano yung normal in the story? And then, magkakaroon na ng imbalance, which is the problem that will shake the balance of the story. And then, you have the hero or the protagonist. And then, you have a catalyst in the story. Catalyst is the hero faces a problem that helps him decide to be the hero of the story, okay? Or to make an action to the story in the story, not necessarily a hero, but to take action towards resolving the problem. And of course, it ends with a call to action. But you decide na si hero na I will do this. This is what I will do. Yun. And this is a format that doesn't only apply to adventure or to action. It actually applies to even drama, horror, whatever genre you have. This is the basically the setup for that. Okay. So I'll give more example. I'm using, for example, here yung graphic novel series that I did. This is chapter 1 of my. So the balance is I established there na merong mundo na pangalan Mai. And in the world, merong iba't ibang races. And then itong mga races na to, they are living in harmony with one another. Pinakita ko doon yung paano sila nag-live in harmony with one another. And then comes the imbalance. So in the imbalance, dyan may introduce ngayon, ano yung problem that disrupted that balance in the story. So yun yung flow niya. And then afterwards, after I have this defined what is the balance, what is the imbalance, and then I introduce the hero. Take for example, a very good introduction to set up yung Avatar app, The Legend of Aang. If you can see, it started with there are 4 nations: Fire Nation, Water Nation, you have the Air Nomads, and you have the Earthbenders. Tapos sabi, they're living in harmony until the Fire Nation conquered everyone. And the only one that can stop them is the Avatar. Tapos yun. So basically, in-introduce yung Avatar sa story. Tapos nire-reiterate lang siya throughout the series. So in this story that I made, si Mai, so I introduced the character Lakan. Siya yung main protagonist of the story. And then, yun, introduce ko siya sa world. Ito yung normal, ito yung balance. Meron na ngayong imbalance. And during the imbalance, dumating yung hero. Pero hindi pa siya hero. Introduction pa lang siya to the hero. And then there's a catalyst. Something happened to him which led him to the next sequence, which will be take action. So yung catalyst dito is the experience niya mismo for himself to be captured by yung Legion, Kalila, yung Dark Lord in the story. And then nakita niya yung pain, yung suffering ng mga civilians in the world of Mai. So that is the part where he will take a decision that something must be done. Hindi pa clear sa kanya, hindi na necessarily kailangan clear na sa kanya na siya yung magte-take action, but still, meron na siyang sense of something must be done. This is not right. Something has to be done. But the problem is I am not strong enough for this. Yeah. And then that's the end of Act 1. Then you start going to Act 2. Act 2, that's where you come in with a confrontation. So confrontation is best portrayed when you start with despair. Diba? Put your character at the point of lowest of low, pero parang he wants to fight or he wants to be of help, pero low siya. Low yung emotion niya, yung spirit niya and all that. And then there will be an aid, a helper that will lift them up. It can be someone that can encourage them, someone that gives them a magical trinket or an item na bigla niya madi-discover na, oh, ito yung kailangan ko eh. Parang ganon. So, there will be a helper. It's not always a person. It can be a place. It can be an item. It can be a plant, whatever. It's not always a person. And then, because of that help, because of that aid, the decision will be made by the hero of what action they're going to take. And then it will end with a call to action, meaning the hero will now take action towards the decision na ginawa niya. So like in this case, si Lakan was captured, He was brought to prison, he was turned into a slave, he was also beaten by the monsters. Then he was at a despair na dahil sa ginawa niya, dahil sa kakulitan niya, kasi sinabihan na siya na huwag pumunta doon sa island na yun, eh. Pero pinuntahan pa rin niya dahil doon nakulong siya, maraming napahamak na sa ginawa niya. Nagkaroon siya ng despair. And he was asking for salvation from Valhalla. And then came the eight. Diba? Yung nag-arrive yung eight niya. Somebody arrived na apparently meron na palang naka-plan na pumunta doon to save the place. He was just in the right place at the right time. And then this guy, si Apo Ginoo, uh, liberated him from his cage. And he was given a decision at that point. Are you going to help or are you going to stay here? And then he decided na I will take this opportunity kahit mahina ako, I will help. Meron akong may tutulong kahit mahina ako. So yun yung point niya. And then call to action. There was a point in the story na he was pretty much just an spectator. He's watching si Apo Ginoo and Nuta saving the people and fighting. Tapos siya parang wala siyang magawa, nakatunga lang siya. And then there was a point in the story na madadaganan ng giant si Luta. And then ang ginawa niya is he took action, nag-dive siya, sinave niya si Luta. So in his own little way, he was able to actually do something for the cause. So it's not always something big. It's more of taking that risky first step. So yun yung ginawa niya sa story niya. Okay. And that's the end of the Act 2, which is merong decision, merong despair, and then a call to action siya. And then enters Act 3. Act 3 is the resolution. So you have Act 1 set up, Act 2 is the conflict, Act 3 is the resolution. So resolution, nandiyan lalabas yung victory. So, or pwedeng hindi lang victory, pwede rin siyang demise. Kasi it's up to you how you're writing your story. It can be a good ending story. Kasi there are different kinds of story. A story where the hero saves the day. It's a good ending. The hero doesn't save the day, or the hero dies. So mga ganon, yung mga ganong iba't ibang klase ng na storyline, or may fourth kind pa, which is the villain wins in the story. So, nasa sa iyo kung paano mo gustong gawin yung story. Paano mo gustong i-deliver yung story that you're writing. So in this case, the resolution is what happens with that kind of category. So it can be victory, the hero won and he got the prize or he got the treasure, or the hero won but he did not get the treasure or he did not get the prize. The hero did not win at all but he still got the treasure, mga ganon. So it's up to you kung paano mo siya i-formulate or paano mo siya gusto mag-end story. And then after the victory, there should be a closure. Closure means what is now the new balance in the story? Kasi di ba nag-start ka with the balance eh. And then you had an imbalance, and then you had the conflict and all that. Tapos, when you achieve victory, that's after the conflict, what is now the new balance? You've heard of this term just a few years ago, new normal, diba? After the pandemic. It's a pretty good reference for us to talk about. Before the pandemic, we had the normal, we had the balance, and then pandemic hit, which basically shattered everyone's plans, decisions, and even world perspective. And then a lot of people took action towards fixing that problem. Diba? It's not just one person, so it's a lot of people working cohesively together to resolve yung problem. And then at some point, we achieved victory when we were able to put out the yung vaccines. When the world started to declare na, oh, we have already formulated a successfully working vaccine, and then distribute na siya to everyone. And then start na mag-disseminate ng vaccines. And then the closure is we are now in the new normal. What is the new normal? The new normal is people are already changed by that event. We are more sensitive to hygiene. We have become more sensitive to pandemic triggers. We have been more sensitive to the reality of death, the reality of sickness. So marami nagbago din. Natuto tayo na magkaroon ng mga online, like this one, di ba? Before pandemic, everything has to be face-to-face. But after pandemic, we were able to adjust to, pwede pala mag-work from home, pwede pala yung online na class, pwede pala yung online yung meeting, pwede pala recorded yung talk. So yun, nagkaroon ng new normal. So that's the closure. That's the closure. The cliffhanger goes beyond the closure. It's up to you if you want to put a cliffhanger or not. So it's nice to include a bit of a cliffhanger in your story. Say that puts your reader at the edge of like expectancy. Na parang, okay, nabasa ko yung story mo, I went through the roller coaster of your story, nag-heighten yung emotion, nag-drop na, it's now normal. Tapos pag nag-drop ka ng cliffhanger at the end of the story, parang, parang asan na yung ano yung susunod, meron pa bang susunod? So the people start chasing you. Now, it gives you room to either continue the story, create ka ng another sequence for the story, or not. Yun yung purpose ng cliffhanger. It's for you to check the market kung is there a demand for the story. Kasi maybe you can put the cliffhanger and people don't really care about the cliffhanger. Parang they're just happy the story ended. So it's one way for you to test the market if that is actually gonna work. So here's some example from from Mai. From chapter 1, they were able to defeat the monster, yung malaki. So victory, yay, nanalo sila. Natalo nila yung yung higanteng mungis-ngis, and they did not die the battle. And the resolution there is that ayun, so parang binigyan ng bago na yung normal. So naging aware na sila kan about ito yung reality. And na-discover niya na hindi pala lahat ng monster. Yung iba sa kanila, cursed sila na citizens ng Mai. And they only need to be saved by removing yung curse nila. So there is something that can be done. Pwede pang ma-revert back dun yung mga tao na na-curse para mabalik sila sa pagiging normal na mga nilalang ulit. And then there's that cliffhanger na as they were going away, na parang okay, we were able to successfully liberate the people from this small town. Biglang may pinakita kami na character at the end of the story na mapapaisip yung nagbabasa na, sino tong character na to? Kakampi ba siya? Kaaway? Or ano ba siya? Nagtitik-tik ba siya? Who is this person? So yun yung cliffhanger. So that's our way of testing. Gusto ba ng mga tao yung flow ng story? Do they want to read chapter 2? Do they want to read chapter 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth? And so far, by God's grace, nasa chapter 10 na Mai. So it's an ongoing series kasi people are asking for ano yung susunod na story, ano yung susunod na story. Pero in reality, I already have the entire series plotted out up to the last chapter. And beyond that, I don't know if I will continue writing it. But the point is, nakalatag na yung story niya. Susundan na lang. I-illustrate na lang namin at i-release na lang. So there is a very clear and cohesive process flow for your story to move forward, what brings them to the height of your story, and what brings them to the new normal. And of course, your new balance should be higher than the old balance. So kung dati passive yung mga tao, because of what they went through, they became more proactive, they became more sensitive, they started to accept or embrace more of yung yung identity nila, something like that. Okay? I know this is a very recorded video and you don't have the opportunity to ask questions, but please do visit our YouTube channel. It's Kawangis Comics. You just look for us in YouTube, Kawangis, and then if you have questions after this video, just pop up a message. Message nyo lang kami, chat lang kayo sa any of our video there, or message nyo kami directly, and then we would love to answer your questions. Yeah. So who's that Pokemon? Alam natin to. So, pag nakita nyo yan sa, sa TV or sa pinapanood nyo, who's that Pokemon, alam mo kagad na, si Pikachu yan, di ba? Kasi, distinct and clear yung character design niya. Now, we're gonna talk about a little bit about character design. So, character design basically is the entire concept, style, and artwork of a character that you will use in the story. So, during the early days of Mai, we have this. So ito yung character design ni Lakan, and then yung parang yung 360 view niya, anong itsura niya in the front, in the back, in the side, the other side, then meron pa yan, yan eh. May details pa siya ng anong height niya, anong age niya, anong characteristics niya, anong personality niya. You try to really build the character. Again, character. It's not just about visual. It's the personality of your character. And part of the personality reflects on their image. So like what you're seeing right now with Lakat is smiling, is wearing color red. You know for a fact that by just looking at him, very outgoing yung personality niya. That's the character. Kaya nga siya tinawag na character. Hindi siya terminology lang for people inside your story. So it has to have a definitive na personality and definitive na characteristics sila in the story. Okay, so there are two main characters in the story. You have the protagonist and you have the antagonist. Obviously, of course, the protagonist is the hero. Siya yung main character that will drive the story forward. Remember this lang, when you're scriptwriting, when you're doing a story, make sure that the story is being driven forward by your main character or your antagonist. Those two people. Hindi yung ikaw yung nagda-drive forward ng story tapos sumusunod lang sila. Dapat sila yung nagda-drive. What do I mean by that? Yung mga decisions nila, clear yung cause and effect. Dahil ito yung dinisign ni character, ito yung naging effect. And dahil ito yung naging effect, ito yung magiging response ng mga tao sa paligid nila. Dahil ito yung mga response ng mga nasa mga paligid nila, ito rin yung magiging response ulit ni hero or ni antagonist, and then magkakaroon ng panibagong cause and effect. And that will be a snowball effect in the story. So basically, cause and effect siya. Hindi yung ifo-force mo na, may nangyari ganito, pupunta yung mga character doon. May nangyari ganito, pupunta sila doon. That's the most boring storytelling that you can ever make. But I would always go for story driven by the character. Kaya important din na define ka kung ano yung personalities ng mga character mo. And it always works if you're a beginner writer. It always works to go bipolar. What do you mean by bipolar? Kung ano yung personality ng protagonist mo, entire opposite yung antagonist. Ganun lang siya. Yung ibig sabihin ng bipolar. And also, when you write bipolar stories, clear din and distinct kung sino yung bad guy, sino yung good guy. And then when you, parang exercise yan, you start with the basic. Clear kung sino yung bad, clear kung sino yung good, and then drive the story. And then afterwards, pagka medyo nakuha mo na yung flow, gawa ko ulit ng bagong story. Ngayon medyo gawin mo ng complex na yung good, medyo may konting sablay, si bad, medyo may konting kabutihan, and then ano yung takbo ng story, and then you can make it more complex as you go along. Pero I would always encourage for beginner writers to start with something more clear cut na black and white. This is good, this is bad. Yeah. Other characters that you can have in the story aside from the antagonist, the obvious, the protagonist, you can have the deuteragonist. Okay, what's a deuteragonist? It's a second main character. So let's say, for example, I don't know if you're familiar with One Punch Man. So if you have heard of that anime or that manga, One Punch Man, you have si Saitama. Siya yung main character. The deuteragonist there is si Genos, yung cyborg. That is always there, assist lang. Excuse me. Assist lang siya kay Saitama. Si Saitama yung main character, siya yung bida. Pero a lot of people gravitate towards the deuteragonist din as well. Diba? So it's very nice to have that, but it's not a necessity. So again, these are supplemental characters that you can add to your story to give them more flavor, but it's not necessarily needed in the story, especially if you're writing something very, very basic. Okay, so yung muse, ito yung what the hero longs for. It's not necessarily a person. So like, let's use for example, Lord of the Rings. The muse in the Lord of the Rings is the ring. Yun, siya yung pinaka-muse. Siya yung parang object of desire ng lahat ng characters in the story. And now, yung main character, si Frodo, wants to destroy that ring. So yun yung goal niya. I have to go and destroy that ring. So yun yung pero he wants to destroy it, but at the same time, he doesn't want to destroy it. So doon nagre-revolve yung desire character. So it's the muse. Sometimes it's a person, sometimes it's a place, sometimes it's a feeling. So maganda may define mo din yun when you're writing your story. Mentor, again, another side character that you can add in the story, but it's not necessarily needed to be a part of the story, but it's nice to have. Okay, mentor is the one who guides the hero through the journey. So the mentor is there to help the hero one discover yung calling niya, discover yung ability niya, unlock yung ability niya, guide them to a place. Kunyari, yung hero wants to go to a place for whatever reason. So the mentor can be the aid, the guide, magsasama sa kanya, pero not necessarily gonna help him achieve the goal. So it's just guiding the hero towards the goal. But getting the goal is still part of the task of the hero. Then you can have the narrator, the one who tells the story. I would always encourage na when you use a narration box, use it very sparingly. Huwag mong bugbugin ng narration box yung graphic novel. If you're writing graphic novel, kasi you're in a graphic novel, when you're writing, you're supposed to show, don't tell. Okay? So pag din-drawing mo na or naka-indicate na sa drawing mo na for example, nasa rice terraces sila, yung characters mo overlooking a certain town and they're looking at it with the sunset. Kung kita na sa picture, wag mo nang sabihin sa narration box kasi redundant yun. Diba? It would be better na you write something else na hindi kita sa picture. So that would help add more flavor to your story. And you have the secondary character, one who joins the hero in the journey, someone whose subplot revolves around them. Naiisip ko na show na pinakamaraming side character or secondary character, Naruto. Excuse me. Diba? Supposedly, maiksi lang yung kwento ng Naruto eh. Pero sa dami ng secondary character niya, at lahat sila binigyan ng kwento, lahat sila binigyan ng subplot, umaba yung kwento. So, that can be a strategy, but you have to be very careful doing that. Kasi you have to make sure first that your story already has a huge following base. And there's a demand from your audience to know the story of the side characters. If not, stick to the story. I would always encourage na stick to one story muna. Test mo muna yung market mo. Test mo muna yung audience mo. They're asking for more. Then, saka ka mag-start mag-branch out. Na, okay, tuwa natin ang kwento si ganitong character. Tuwa natin kwento. Para that way, people will have a 360 view of the world that you're building, your story. Okay. I'll just skip this part. Okay. So once you have defined your character, especially your protagonist and antagonist, it's good practice, especially for us in the creative industry. Whether you're writing for graphic novel, you're writing for film, you're writing for animation, for games, na yung character mo, aside from the 360 view, gagawan mo din sila na yung character faces nila. So anong itsura ng character mo pag masaya? Usually it's just the 6 major emotions. You have the happy, you have the sad, you have the fearful, angry, disgusted, and surprised. Yep. So if you can design, if you can draw this, your characters, kahit yung mukha lang nila, it will also help you along the way when you're writing and already converting it into a visual illustration na mas madali mo ma-define, okay, ganito dapat yung tsura niya, o ganito dapat. Para din ma-define mo kung seryoso ba, comical ba yung character mo or hindi. Okay, now we dive into scripting. Diba, ang haba na ng dinaanan natin bago tayo nakarating sa scripting. Kasi scripting doesn't start from scripting. It starts from all of that. The ideation, the story mapping, the character designing. Kasi unless you have all of these tools, mahihirapan ka sa scripting part. Kasi dyan ka may mental block. Now, where do I start? What do I do? Scripting kasi is basically writing down the movement, the actions, the expressions, dialogues of the character in the screenplay, in a screenplay format. Okay, screenplay format is used to express the story visually. Okay, and if you're doing a scripting for graphic novel, you have to always remember to think in spreads. How many pages ba ang graphic novel na gagawin mo? Again, don't write something na bahala na ako saan mag-ending. You have to be clear, you have to be defined kung hanggang gaano karami ba yung isusulat mo. Kasi you cannot write a graphic novel for kids na 100 pages. Hindi nila matatapos yun. Kasi that's too long for them. Pero, kung yung graphic novel mo naman is for adults, 100 pages is too short. So, yun yung balance Knowing who are you writing for, and then from that, identify mo ilang pages yung gagawin mo. Kasi kung alam mo kung ilang pages yung gagawin mo, ganun karami yung i-breakdown mo, yung story map na ginawa mo kanina. So, always think in spreads. Pagka nag-drawing ka ng pag nag-scripting ka for graphic novel, always think in spreads. Maraming tao kasi when they write, they think per page. So, itong page na to, ano nangyari? And then, next page, ano nangyari? But when you're reading a graphic novel, you're not reading just one side of the page. Pag binuklat mo yung libro, pag yun Diba? So, people are actually reading it spread. Binabasa nila from left side up to the bottom of the right side. So when you're gonna put a cliffhanger in your page, don't put it at the bottom of the left page. Your cliffhanger should be on the right page. Para ma-entice mo yung reader na i-flip yung page at basahin yung next page. So kung every page mo may parang mini cliffhanger, that would make them want to, ano nangyari? Ano nangyari? Ano nangyari? The next thing you know, tapos na nila yung story. And they did not even feel that they were reading a story. That's the beauty of writing that in that kind of manner. So always think in spreads when you're writing a graphic novel. Okay. So I'm gonna share with you and give you an inside look on how I did the scripting for the graphic novel Mai. Original name niya is Alamat. When we were supposed to launch it on 2015, but during that time, merong animation series, mini-series na lumabas sa isa sa mga popular na na TV channels na with the same title. So it was too much of a coincidence na they launched that tapos ilo-launch namin to. So we had to make a last minute change of the title. From Alamat, we changed it to Mari. But the script is pretty much the same. So here's an example of how I did it. Nakasulat siya, page 1, ano yung background, ano yung makikita. This one is the general element of the entire page. And then I identify ilang panels meron sa page. Mamaya I will discuss further ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng mga panels, ano yung frames, ano yung parts of a graphic novel. So, naka-identify dyan ano yung makikita, kung may narration box, ano yung narration box, ilang narration box, ano yung nakalagay sa each narration box. So, ganito ako mag-design ng story. So, as you can see, nandyan yung story flow ko from the beginning. Ito yung balance niya. Diba? So, meron kang makita mo yung match siya. So, beginning, so inciting incident, second thought, obstacle 1, tapos obstacle 2. So, pagdating pa lang dito, medyo climax na of act 1 to. Midpoint twist, obstacle, disaster, crisis, climax, yung pinaka-climax na talaga ng story, and then yung descending action, and then ending. So it helps you as a writer na ma-define mo ano yung mga anchor points ng story para from there, masusundan mo siya. Gagawa mo na ngayon ng scripting. Gaano katagal bago makarating sa point A to point B, point B to point C. Yan. So this is how I wrote it. Again, thinking in spreads. So as you can see here, nandito yung page 12. Ang katapat ng page 12 ay page 13. So nandyan, sinulat ko sa page 12, meron akong 4 na panel. Sorry. May 4 na panel ako, and each panel naka-describe ano yung nangyayari doon sa panel. Kung may dialogue, ano yung sinasabi ng character? Sino nagsasalita? And then, mostly, panels are just identifying ilang boxes yung lalabas sa screen, sa page, and then, ano-ano yung mga sinasabi nila. Okay? So, the less the panel are in a page, ibig sabihin, mas malalaki yung panel. Mas marami yung panel, mas maliliit yung panels niya in a comic book. Yan. So, parang kagaya nito, 7 kaagad yung panel. So, ibig sabihin, marami sila. Parang naka-collage. And I'm always looking at it on a spread. So, kagaya niya, nag-spread ako na pagdating dito, meron siyang cliffhanger na biglang lahat sila tumatakbo. So, ano nangyari sa kanila? Ba't sila tumatakbo? Nahuli ba sila? Nakain ba sila? What? So, mapipilitan siya mag-flip ngayon to sa next page. And then, after reading the next page, ganun ulit, pagdating sa ending, ginrap nung giant yung bayawak na katabi nila. So, ngayon, ano nangyari? Kinain ba niya yung bayawak? Nakatakas ba sila? Sila ba yung sunod na ginrap? So, alam mo yun, it adds little bits of cliffhangers on each page. Now, let's discuss the parts of the comic page para you would have a clearer idea how to script write for a graphic novel. Ito yung tinatawag na panel, yung window na yan. So, yung thick lines sa paligid niyan, yun yung tinatawag na frame. There is no strict standard on how you should design a panel. Normally, you always see it as square or rectangle, but no one is stopping you from using any other shape. You can make it a circle, you can make it a triangle, you can make it a pizza, whatever. Nasa sa'yo yun. Doon papasok yung creative input mo. Eh nakita nga akong comics na yung panels niya mukha siyang pasag na salamin. So parang nagpapatong-patong siya pero yung shattered yung design niya. So it's up to you how to deliver yung intensity at saka yung intention ng story through your illustrations. Next is the gutter. Gutter yung tawag dun sa spaces in between panels. Important yung gutter. Kasi some would think, teka, di ba parang sayang yung space pag tikitin na lang natin yung mga panels. Pwede mong gawin naman yun. Wala naman nagbabawal nun. Pero there's beauty behind the gutter. The gutter kasi provides a bit of breathing space for your eyes. And also, it gives the reader the opportunity to connect picture 1 from picture 2. Doon sa in-between sila nagfo-formulate yung brain kung paano nila mako-connect cohesively yung story. Kaya nga, when you're reading a comics, feeling mo, napanood mo na siya. Feeling mo na gumagalaw sila dun sa pagbabasa mo. Kasi your brain is the one filling in that gap. That white gap there is helping fill in the gap between the two parts of the panel. Third important purpose and use of a gutter, kung kailangan mo maglagay ng footnote, pwede mo ilagay sa gutter yung footnote. It doesn't disrupt the image, but it also gives your reader additional information about what the story or what the person is talking about. Yan. So, again, sabi ko kanina, yung left, tsaka side, di ba? 2 page yan. So, yung isang buong ganon, page ang tawag dyan. Okay. Ngayon, pagka 2 na, yung tinitingnan mo, ang tawag doon ay spread. So in comics, those are some of the very basic but very important information you need to know para clear when you're communicating, especially kung magkaiba yung artist sa writer. So you have the panel, the gutter, the page, and the spread. And part of the use of spread is the splash page. So pag sinabi mong splash page, ito yung isang image lang siya, you're already covering the spread. So, parang kanina, di ba? So, you have a page, This one, so you have a panel, 4 panel in page 1. Tapos meron kang isang malaking panel sa page 2. Pwede mo rin gawin yun na yung panel mo is overlapping the second page na para bang isang image lang siya. Kaya nga I told you kanina, when you're writing, when you're script writing, always think in spreads. Boxes, text boxes or text bubbles. You have the narration box. That's normally square box. Pwede mong stylize yan with whatever. Basta normally it follows that idea of a dimension na para siyang square. Sometimes scroll yung itsura, sometimes kahoy. Basta ganun yung idea. Talk bubble. Ano yung talk bubble or speech bubble? Ito yung oblong na merong tail. Okay? Para identify sinong character yung nagsasalita. Again, you can stylize this. Basta it follows the same idea na it is curved in design with the tail. Then you have the thought bubble. Normally, cloud yung ginagamit natin dito na design. So it represents what someone is thinking at that moment. Na hindi siya verbal, pero meron siyang thought process na nangyayari. Then you also have the shout bubble. So ito yung ginagamit mo sa mga exclamation. So think about it na si speech bubble, parang ito yung hindi pala parallel yun. Isip ko kasi parang period, exclamation point to. Yan. So, then you also have the telepathic. Telepathic yung may nagsasalita pero hindi mo nakikita. Yan. So, kunyari, may nagkukwento pero hindi mo nakikita. Or may nakikipag-usap sa'yo. Like for example, may apparition, may nagpakita sa yung God, pero hindi mo siya nakikita, nagsasalita lang siya. Yan, you can use this telepathic. Sometimes, yung mga characters na you design na character, they can telepathically talk, then you can use that as a para ma-differentiate mo yung conversation na gumagalaw yung bibig at saka conversation na hindi. So, these are some of the elements you can use in the graphic novel. Again, you use this information as well when you're script writing. Pwede mong ilagay sa script writing na telepathic bubble, tapos ano yung sinabi? Or you can say shout bubble, ano yung sinabi? So, to give you a bit of an idea of how it is translated, ito yung script ng isa sa mga chapters ng Mahi, which is yung Alitap-tap. Ganito yung pagkakalagay sa script ko is Lakan running toward frontal, yung view, circling his yantok rods in both hands. Yan. Tapos Lakan lives in the air, ready to strike. Receives the strike. Dapat 2 different panels yan, pero ang ginawa na lang nung artist, pinag-isa niya para mas may intensity siya. Tapos Luta naman approaches din. Okay. So those are basically the transition and translation of the panel to illustration. So how do you translate panels to illustration? Doon papasok ngayon yung storyboarding. Storyboarding is a graphic organizer that consists of illustrations or images displayed in sequence for the purpose of visualizing a motion picture, animation, motion graphic, and even graphic novels. So it doesn't have to be super detailed. It's just a rough sketch of what the intention is dun sa pag-convert to image. So like for example, ganito yung tsura ng storyboard nung graphic novel, ganito yung tsura nung na-illustrate na siya. So as you can see, very, very rough yung sketch dito. It's just to give you an idea of gaano kalaki yung panel mo, gaano kaliit yung panel mo, sinong highlight character dito, anong angle, anong tsura. Para if you decide na parang hindi maganda yan, pagkipalitan natin, mabilis lang gawin. Kesa yung dinrawing mo kagad in details, tapos pagdating sa review or editing, parang mas maganda yata iba yung angle nito. Sayang yung effort, di ba? Na nagtrabaho ka ng matagal illustrating that part, tapos sa scrap lang pala yung image na. It's always important to go through storyboarding. And it's a best practice in any industry, in any creative industry, whether that's film, that's content creation, animation, game. It's important na mag-storyboard ka muna bago ka mag-dive into working on the actual project. Even the cover. ini-sketch muna siya. Okay. So what makes comics different from the other stories is that you have to understand yung flow of thought in a comic book. The flow of thought in a comic book is left to right, top to bottom. So like in this case, as I'm showing here in the illustration, you have left to right. Ganyan yung basa niya. So ito munang top bubble na to, then this bubble, then it goes down, and then goes to the right, and then goes to the top ulit, and then same sequence ulit siya. That's how you read the comics. And that's also how you write. With that knowledge, how you write comics. Okay? As I've said kanina, always think in spreads. Magkaiba kasi, mas magandang you write your comic book with the intention na it's for spread. Kasi even if you put it up as a webcomic, maiintindihan pa rin siya. Ang mahirap kasi, and madalas nagiging malpractice, is they create with the intention of webcomics muna. Pagdating sa printing, hindi maganda yung magkakatabing pages. So it's always important na you try to think of it in spreads, then saka mo lang siya i-break down into pages. Then pages, and then gagawin mong spread. Yeah. Storyboard panel, I'm just showing you some samples. Panels can range from 4 to 8 panels, can go a little bit lower. Depende sa, again, what intensity and what are you highlighting. So, of course, images that requires emphasis most likely will require a bigger image in your story, in your graphic novel. So, reminder na a storyboard is a rough draft of your plan for your manuscript. It's not the final output. So do not spend too much time creating the storyboard. It's just translating the script into how it would probably look like. And then once you agree on how it would probably look like, then that's the time you start actually illustrating using the storyboard. In ending, di ba, compelling stories often have a foundational, but not always strict factual accuracy. They resonate when they are tapped into deeper human thoughts, which are universal fears, desires, and emotion, even in fiction. So when you're able to capture all these elements of reality, even if you're writing fiction, that's how you capture the hearts of your readers. That's how you capture the hearts of your audience. And, you know, Jesus shared truth by telling stories. So should we. So keep writing on, keep creating. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for having me here, and I hope you were able to get something out of this talk. And again, if you have questions, feel free to message us. Just search for Kawangis. You can Google us, that we are the first to pop up naman in the results. We have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube channels, and even LinkedIn, so that you can reach out to us and send us your inquiries and your questions about our talk today. Maraming salamat again for this time and for this opportunity. God bless you all.